Hey, I'm Pete Holman. I'm a physical therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and former U.S. national Taekwondo champion and team captain, and I'm a fitness product inventor. I've created multiple products, one being the TRX Rip Trainer, a plate-loaded hip thrust machine called the Nautilus Glute Drive, a 2-in-1 golf swing training aid called the Golf Forever Swing Trainer, but most importantly, in conjunction with Escape Fitness, the world's first ever loaded carry sled push combo machine. I'm excited to be here today to share with you a setup and basic use tutorial on how to get started using the Escape Barrow. I'm going to share with you my genesis story of how I got infatuated with loaded carries. We're going to get into some of the science behind loaded carries and sled pushes and why they're so beneficial. We're going to take you through product orientation and get you familiarized with the product itself, and then we're going to get you into the 5 foundational exercises, 5 drills you've got to be incorporating into your strength and conditioning program. We're also going to give you some challenge exercises that will get those creative juices flowing and show you the limitless possibilities of what you can do on this machine. Finally, I'm going to share with you a strength training circuit and a high intensity interval training circuit, a finisher that you can employ today with your small group classes or your one-on-one personal training. So without further ado, let's get after it. My story actually started 35 years ago. I grew up on a small farm in Littleton, Colorado, and every day I would use a wheelbarrow to haul road base and concrete and railroad ties and manure. And with every load and every push and pull and drag and carry, I felt my grip strength, my hip strength, my core strength improving. To this day, I'm convinced that my success in martial arts was directly related to that farm strong exercise I did daily on the farm. And that was the beginning of my thought process of doing loaded carries and why they were so important. Flash forward 35 years into the future, I'm at a gym. This guy is doing a loaded carry with kettlebells, heavy kettlebells. They must have been 50 kgs each. And at the end of the set, he goes to set the weights down on the floor and something happens to his back. I'm not sure if it was a disc, a facet joint, a ligament, a muscle strain, but he lost his back and he was done. He was icing his back in the corner. And I thought, man, there's gotta be a better way to get weight up and down off the ground and do a loaded carry. And I thought back to my wheelbarrow days of, why couldn't you make a wheelbarrow that had lateral weight horns on either side that you could easily load and unload weight plates? And that literally was the genesis of the Escape Barrow. To this day, loaded carries are one of the best exercises known to mankind. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons, although there's multiple reasons. The first is grip strength. Your grip strength is a limiting factor in all your other lifts. Think about performing a heavy deadlift or an Olympic lift, or what about a pull-up or a hanging knee raise? You're limited by the strength of your grip. It's the first thing that's gonna fail. What is one of the best exercises to strengthen your grip? It's a loaded carry. Every single rep challenges that grip strength and improves your grip that's gonna transfer into all the other lifts in the gym. Recent research by Richard Bohannon in 2019 showed that there is a direct link between grip strength and disease-specific morbidity, meaning the weaker your grip is, the higher chance you have of actually dying. If you think about it, it makes sense. The stronger your grip is, the more lean muscle mass you have around your bones. The more lean muscle mass around your bones, the higher bone mineral density you have, and the stronger and more physical you're gonna be. You're gonna live a longer life. So grip strength isn't just about body transformation, looking good, being jacked and strong. It's about living a healthy, vital life throughout your lifespan. The final benefit of grip strength is a concept called irradiation. This was a concept that was originally operationalized by Sir Charles Scott Sherrington in the 1900s. What he talked about is a cascading of muscle energy. When you grab something heavy, the intrinsic muscles of your hands have to contract, but then there's a cascading of muscle energy that goes up into the wrist, into the forearm, into the elbow, into your glenohumeral joint, the rotator cuff muscles, into your scapulothoracic joint, all those muscles that connect the scapula to the thorax, and then finally into the core. Grabbing something heavy instantly, reflexively activates your core and vice versa. So grip strength isn't just about strengthening the grip, it's about irradiation and increasing muscle activation throughout the body. Another benefit of loaded carries is strengthening the hip. I want to talk about one specific muscle group in the lateral hip called the gluteus medius. Now, the gluteus medius has multiple fibers, but we're going to talk about primarily the medial fibers and the posterior fibers, which are involved in external rotation and abduction. Now this is open kinetic chain, so this is what the muscle does. When the foot's on the ground, guess what? It's the opposite. The muscles prevent adduction and internal rotation. This is a position of weakness. This is valgus collapse. This is where we don't want our knee when we're loaded up. We want it right here. So what do we do to strengthen that gluteus medius? We do loaded carries. Every single rep, you have to spend some time in single leg stance and support, and that's what's gonna strengthen that gluteus medius. Another exercise we do on the Escape Barrow is a march, whether it's stationary or an ambulatory march where we propel forward. But again, spending time in single leg stance is what's gonna strengthen that lateral hip and again, help you connect that kinetic chain energy, which by the way, is the third benefit of loaded carries, which is just core activation. Gray Cook wrote a book called Athletic Body and Balance. And in the book, he eloquently talks about energy leaks. An energy leak is just a leak in the kinetic chain. So when you push into the ground pushes back into you. That's Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're a rugby player and you go to make a cut, you're pushing to the earth pushes back into you. Now it's all on you to control that kinetic chain energy. It comes from the foot up through the ankle, the knee, the hip. If you lose that energy in the core, if you have an energy leak, you're not only gonna lose performance and your ability to change directions, but you're gonna predispose yourself to injury. What's one of the best exercises to strengthen the core? You got it, a loaded carry. As soon as you accept load, the muscles from head to toe link that kinetic chain, increase core activation, increase your posture and alignment, and prepare you for activities of daily life and sports. Okay, we've covered the benefits of loaded carries. Let's talk about sled pushes now. One of the best things about sled pushes is that it's a power exercise. It involves acceleration, velocity. And velocity helps activate fast twitch muscle fibers. It's metabolically challenging. It's gonna jack your heart rate up, your respiratory rate. You're gonna get a lot of benefits, not just for athletic performance, but also for body transformation. When you engage in a sled push, to get the machine moving and to keep it moving, you've got to accelerate into the motion. That creates power. Again, that's going to help with athletic performance and body transformation. The last benefit of sled pushes or pulls in this case is something called retro walking. Now, Ben Patrick is a famous physical therapist right now. He's the knees over toes guy. And one of his favorite exercises is a drag or a pull. It's retro walking. This is a great way to strengthen the knees and terminal knee extension. Also strengthen the posterior kinetic chain, your glutes, your low back, your mid back, all those postural muscles. And again, it's very safe, it's slow, it's all concentric, so there's no eccentric loading. This is an exercise, in fact, that Ben Patrick does literally 7 days a week. He never gets sore because there's no eccentric loading to it. So those are your three benefits of sled pushing or pulling. Power output, no eccentric, so minimal delayed onset muscle soreness, and you can do exercises like retro walking using a sled. All right, now let's get into setup and basic use. First, I want to get you familiarized with the product itself. You'll notice at the front of the barrel, we've got two wheels. People always ask, why don't you have one wheel? Wouldn't that be more instability and greater core activation? And the answer is yes, it would be, but it also is more dangerous. If you lose the load with one wheel, it literally will lopside, weight plates will go flying, and it's a very dangerous situation. So I put two wheels on, focus a little bit more on stability and strength training on the loaded carries. Moving up the unit, we've got two lateral weight horns. Now, you notice a traditional weight sled, you have to load the weights on a vertical peg, which is very difficult on your low back and your hip mobility. This is easy to load because you don't have to bend down to load the weight plates. You do want to make sure that you load the weight plates evenly from left to right. I want to show you the bottom of this barrel so you can see how we designed these runners. When we flip this on its side, you'll notice that each runner has a nylon surface or undercoating. And this helps protect the turf. It makes the coefficient of drag very minimal so that you can push this fluidly on turf, carpet, even rubberized flooring. Finally, let's talk about the handle grips. You'll notice two handle grip variations, a vertical grip and a horizontal grip. Primarily the vertical grip is for sled pushes and drags. The horizontal grip is for loaded carries and retro walking of this nature. You now have the basics of the product orientation. Let's talk about setup and basic use. Many of the barrow exercises can be performed facing the barrow and in reverse facing body orientations. This makes transitions from pushing drills to loaded carries seamless. Steering a loaded barrow can be challenging. I often start users off by performing some basic steering challenges. This is a fun and creative way to get first-time users used to steering. Place 2 cones 5 meters apart and have the user perform a figure-8 pattern, making sure to steer both left and right around the cones. A similar drill can be performed in a serpentine fashion that helps allow users to understand the steering component of this machine. Finally, make sure to end your training bout by decelerating and ending up with your feet parallel so that the barrel doesn't slide on the turf when you stop. At speeds, it is easy to lose control of the load in which the barrel can continue in motion, creating a potentially dangerous situation. The first exercise in our foundational series is the barrel lift, which is basically a rack pull deadlift, which is a great alternative to deadlifts because many individuals don't have great hip mobility to get into a deep traditional deadlift position. This variation minimizes the range of motion, but maximizes the benefits of deadlifts by improving hip hinging mechanics, strengthening the core, and challenging grip strength. First, face the barrel with your feet in an athletic stance, feet about a shoulder width apart. Grip the horizontal handles with a strong fist grip position. Squeeze the armpits together like you have oranges underneath them and you're trying to make orange juice. Push the earth away from you, lifting the barrel off the ground in a neutral spine posture. Squeeze your glutes at the top of the motion, ensuring that you have full hip extension. Then drop your hips down and back, lowering the barrel back to the floor in a controlled fashion. Repeat for the desired amount of repetitions. Note, this exercise can also be performed facing the barrel or in a reverse facing body orientation. Our second foundational exercise is a barrel carry. This drill will strengthen the grip, hips, and core, will ingrain healthy postural habits, and will build work capacity. First, face the barrel with your feet in an athletic stance. Grip the horizontal handles with a strong fist grip position. Squeeze those armpits, remember, make that orange juice. Push the earth away from you, lifting the barrel off the ground in a neutral spine posture. Walk forward, maintaining a tall spine, military posture. Chest out, shoulders down and back, eyes on the horizon. At the end of your set, decelerate the barrel, assume a parallel athletic stance, drop your hips down and back and lower the barrel to the ground. This exercise can also be performed in a reverse-facing body orientation. Our third foundational exercise is a barrel push. This drill will build explosive power, anaerobic endurance, core strength, and challenge metabolism. First, face the barrel in a split stance. Grip the vertical handles with a strong fist grip position. Extend your arms at the elbow for increased difficulty and increased upper body activation. Brace the core so that you have a strong neutral spine position. Push aggressively through the lead foot while simultaneously driving the opposite thigh to the chest until the barrel starts to move. At the end of your set, decelerate the barrel and place your feet in a parallel stance to ensure the barrel doesn't keep moving. The next exercise in our foundational movement series is a barrel drag. This drill has been popularized by physical therapists for safely improving knee strength and activating the posterior chain and postural muscles. Face the barrel with your feet in a short split stance position. Grab the vertical handles with a fist grip, or for increased difficulty, grab the horizontal grips. Brace the core so that you have a strong neutral spine position. Aggressively push through the ball of the rear foot until your rear knee extends and the barrel starts to move backward. Repeat with the opposite side. Make sure there is a clear path behind you by occasionally looking backwards. Our final exercise in the foundational movement series is a barrel stationary march. Marching is a great way to challenge single leg stability and strengthen the down leg, hip mobility in the marching leg, and increases time under tension for enhanced strength gains. First, face away from the barrel with your feet in an athletic stance. Grip the horizontal handles with a strong fist grip. Squeeze those armpits, push the earth away from you, lift the barrel off the ground. Then, narrow your stance. Drive one knee up towards the chest with the foot in a dorsiflexed or toes up position. Pause at the end range for increased difficulty, and then repeat on the opposite side. Once finished, reset your feet to a wider athletic stance, drop your hips down and back, lowering the barrel to the ground. Okay, now let's get into our challenge exercise series. These are more difficult exercises, so use them with your more advanced clients. The first exercise is a quad lift. The quad lift is similar to a barrel lift, but with the addition of a calf raise and shoulder shrug. This is called quadruple extension. It's an advancement of triple extension, which is extension of the ankle, the knee, the hip, and then we add the shoulder shrug at the top range of motion. You're gonna face the barrel with your feet in an athletic stance. You're gonna grip the horizontal handles with a strong fist grip, squeeze those armpits, push the earth away from you, lifting the barrel off the ground in a neutral spine position, Extend at the end range through your ankles and simultaneously shrug your shoulders. Drop your hips down and back, lowering the barrow to the floor in a controlled fashion, and repeat for the desired amount of repetitions. Our next game-changing exercise is called a Viking press. So if you want the strength of the Vikings, you gotta do this drill. Face the barrow in a seated posture with your knees either extended or slightly bent. Grip the horizontal handlebars from the underside. Brace your core and lift the barrow towards the ceiling, pausing at the top range of motion. While maintaining a tall spine posture, lower the weight down in a controlled fashion and repeat for the desired amount of repetitions. Our next game-changing exercise is a lateral drag. This exercise will work on frontal plane strength, hip mobility, and lower body drive. Stand facing sideways to the barrow and grab the horizontal handles. Cross one leg behind the other like an ice skater turning a corner. Drive off the front foot, dragging the barrow laterally for the desired distance, then switch to the opposite side. Our next game-changing exercise is a barrow burpee. This is going to give you all the benefits of a traditional burpee without stressing your shoulders and low back. Stand facing the barrow, assume a military push-up position, and brace the core. Lower your chest towards the barrow, engage in a push-up. At the top range of motion, drive your feet up into an athletic stance and then perform the lift as seen in our foundational movement series. Repeat for the desired amount of repetitions. The last exercise in our game-changing series is loaded high knees. The loaded high knees is very similar to the setup of the barrow stationary march in our foundational series. Face away from the barrow with your feet in an athletic stance. Grip the horizontal handlebars with a strong fist grip. Squeeze those armpits, push the earth away, lift the barrow off the ground in a neutral spine posture. From there, narrow your stance and drive one knee up towards the chest with the foot in a dorsiflexed or toes up position. Repeat with the opposite side. For increased difficulty, increase the cadence and the height of the knee drive on each subsequent repetition. Once finished, reset your feet to a wider athletic stance, drop your hips down and back, and lower the barrow to the ground. All right, I'm now going to introduce you to a basic strength training circuit using the Escape Barrow. The first exercise we're going to do is a barrow lift, as seen in the foundational movement pattern series. You're going to perform the desired amount of reps, and then you're going to go right into a barrow push. Now, you can rest in between exercises, but you still want to keep some general flow moving. Once you perform the barrow push, you're going to finish, reset, regroup, and then you're going to perform a barrow drag back towards the starting position. And that is a basic strength training circuit using foundational movement patterns on the Escape Barrow. I now want to introduce you to a HIIT training finisher that I love to use at the end of a workout. It's basically a sled push for a desired distance. Once you finish with the sled push, you immediately go into a loaded carry back to your start position. You can repeat this for 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 repetitions or 5 rounds for maximum benefits. You now have the knowledge and skills to start prescribing exercises on the Escape Barrow. Make sure to play around with these exercises on your own. Vary the loads, vary the speeds, get familiar with the exercise before you prescribe it to your clients. Listen, be safe, have fun, and escape your limits on the brand new Escape Barrow.